I ended up at UW-Stevens Point because after working numerous jobs for 10 years or so, I got laid off and realized that if I was going to change with the changing workforce, I needed to go back to school. I'd always been interested in being a teacher, so I knew Stevens Point had a good school of education, so that seemed like the best place to go. That, and it had the benefit of being within driving distance of where I live with my wife. There's been the share of stumbling blocks, if you will, as far as being able to get the schedule to work, because being a non-traditional student with 3 kids, most days, today is actually one of the exceptions, and I can thank my mother-in-law for watching my kids for that, but normally I have to be out of here by 2. I have to in order to get home in time to get my kids off the bus. And that did make things difficult. Same with getting here in the morning. Getting here before 9 is usually rather difficult, but thankfully the scheduling has been flexible enough that other than the occasional course here and there, I've been able to make that happen. Having a very supportive spouse helps. I don't know how I would be doing this if I had to work, plus take care of the kids, plus do the schoolwork. So my spouse has been very, very supportive and very insistent that I will not take a part-time job. So my advice would be find a way to dedicate yourself to your studies so that you can succeed. You know, yeah, you might be able to go pick up a part-time job on the weekend, but that's when I get most of my schoolwork done because my wife doesn't work weekends. So I can lock myself down in the basement, sit at my desk and spend almost all day, Saturday and Sunday, getting caught up on what I couldn't do during the week. And then after dinner, after the kids are in bed, I usually will duck downstairs for a couple hours as well. But the big thing is, finding that balance that allows you to still take care of your family needs, but also allow you to get what you need to get done in order to succeed. Well, when I started here, I was actually a math major intending to teach middle school, high school math, And through the course of the first semester and a half, I discovered that while I'm good at math, it wasn't what I wanted to do. Part of that was I had to take a physics course of some sorts, and my advisor suggested that I take Physics 150 on the off chance that I decided to change majors, which I ended up doing. I took Physics 150 and then switched over to a natural science major, physics minor, with the intention of being a middle school, high school science teacher instead of a math teacher. I was originally looking at a physics major as opposed to the natural science major. But talking with some of my advisors, they said that unless I wanted to work in a very big public high school like in Milwaukee or something like that, and being a Northwoods boy, that didn't apply to me, I wasn't going to find a job as a physics teacher, not a full-time job at least. And the suggestion was that I look at the natural science degree, because that would allow me not only to be certified to teach physics, which I will be certified to teach, but also to be able to teach general science, and I could pick up additional concentrations easy enough as well. And as far as what it was that got me to take the physics minor as opposed to chemistry or something else is I found the physics very fascinating, and the professor that I had in that class actually did a fantastic job at bringing that subject alive and really got me hooked on it. That professor would be Dr. McViam. Dr. VM was my Physics 150 teacher, and then he also was my professor he facilitated my Physics 250 discussion, and then I also had him for modern physics. So I've had Mick 3 times now, and he's always been very supportive, and he's got a very unique way of trying to make the complex understandable, which really does help. As far as Dr. Berzani, I had him for electronics, and another excellent professor. I really enjoyed his class, but there were times that I was having a hard time picturing how a circuit would work, so I took the initiative and bought a circuit simulator software that had build the circuits that were being described and simulate them in the computer to see what was happening, and I had showed it to him, and through the course of discussion we decided that it would be very beneficial to the course to incorporate that simulator into the course. So the following semester, after I took electronics, I took a $4.99 special work for 2 credits and completely redeveloped the lab portion of that class in order to include the simulator. I'm torn. The middle school kids are a blast, and I've had a really good time with all my practicum experiences with the middle school students. However, this semester I'm also doing some observations up at Wausau East with a physics teacher up there, and I am having a real good time with them. So if I could get a job actually teaching high school physics, I would love it, but I would not turn down a middle school science job. When Dr. Beam told me that I was nominated, I was very honored to begin with. And then when the email came in last week, I had to read it 3 times to make sure I understood it. The first time I read it, I said, wait a minute, no, this doesn't say that I didn't get it. And I read it again and I went, did I win? And then the third time I went, wow. So it was a very, very humbling experience to just not only to be nominated, but very, very humbling to win, because from what I've learned about the scholarship, it is, I am the first recipient, but also it's one you have to be nominated for. So the fact that the physics department felt that the work I had done was worthy of being nominated I'm still blown away.